Hi, I'm Julia Hood, the manager of School and Family Learning at Reynolda House Museum of American Art. In our pop-up studio today, we're going to take another look at leaves, this time seeing how we can make prints with leaves. So I'm going to show you two options, one using either tempera paint or acrylic paint to make a work of art with various leaves and making a print like this. Or then, if you want to get a little fancy and use a very special printmaking tool, I'll show you another way to use printmaking ink and make a leaf print like this.
For a little inspiration as you think about colors, you may want to explore Reynolda's painting Mounts Adam and Eve, painted in 1871 by Jasper Cropsey. Cropsey painted this in New York State in the northwestern United States. When he first showed paintings like this, with trees in autumn, in England, people criticized him for not choosing the right colors of paint for the leaves. Later, he showed real leaves from trees alongside his paintings to show that autumn really does have these colors in the United States.
I'll show you what you need to complete both of these projects and how to make them.
To make either of these projects, you need to first gather some leaves. Freshly fallen leaves that haven't dried yet are ideal. Here, I have 3 different kinds of oak and some maple leaves. Here's a hint if you have fun with this project. At Reynolda, we make leaf prints throughout the year. If you rinse and dry freshly fallen leaves, you can place them in a plastic zippered bag and freeze them for later use, but they need to be dry. Then they can last for more than a year if stored properly. I'm going to use tempera paint, but you could also use acrylics. You'll just have to move quickly if you do that. If you want to get really fancy, you could also even use screen printing ink and print your leaves onto fabric. You'll want to wear old clothes that can get messy or add a smock or apron. You will need a brush, a palette, some water, and several paper towels. For your art, you will need a piece of paper. I recommend something a little thicker than copy paper. I'm using an all-media paper, but a slightly absorbent paper that you can paint on without it wrinkling will work. You will also need a couple of pieces of scrap paper for either project. If you were going to make leaves with printmaking ink like we do in the studios at Reynolda, you'll want to find a water-based printing ink. Speedball and Blick Art Materials both have nice options for use with young artists. You will also need a brayer, the printmaking tool that will help you spread ink evenly over your leaves. Then, we need a flat surface to put ink onto. At Reynolda, we use a rectangle of safety glass, but I'll show you how to make your own inking surface with a piece of cardboard, some tape, and either aluminum foil or wax paper. If you have a large flat plastic plate, that will also work. At Reynolda, we use an etching press for printing in our studio, but you will be able to do hand printing at home. For hand printing, you need a tool to help provide some pressure and transfer the ink from your leaf to your paper. A wooden spoon is perfect for this, but you could also use a tool called a baron, which is designed for hand printing. To make prints with paint and leaves, start by squeezing a little bit of paint out onto your palette. A disposable plate will work well. Choose your first leaf and flip it so that the underside is facing up. You want to paint the side where the veins stick up the most. Place this leaf over a piece of scrap paper and paint all parts of it, making sure to paint the petiole, what we tend to think of as the stem of the leaf. Place the leaf paint side down onto your art paper. Hold it in place with one hand and press all areas of the leaf with your other hand. You might want to crumple a paper towel to help you dab and press at your leaf, but try not to get paint from your hand or the paper towel onto your art paper. You can keep using the same leaf over and over, adding different colors. I started with yellow so that when I added red, it would become orange and then eventually more and more red without me having to wash the leaf. You can also use different leaves as well. Remember, you can print over top of other colors to create an illusion of overlapping leaves. If If you want to print only a part of the leaf at the edge of your paper, just be sure to place a piece of scrap paper under the part of your leaf outside the paper. To make a leaf print with printing ink, you first need to prepare your inking surface. I tore a piece of wax paper and wrapped it around some cardboard. A flattened cereal box will do. Then I pulled the wax paper so that it was tight and I taped it down. Then squeeze out a small amount of ink, about the size of a nickel. With your brayer, you will roll a small square by rolling and picking up your brayer. Roll, lift, roll, lift, roll, lift. Then turn the brayer 90 degrees and roll again, lifting as you go. The goal is to spread the ink evenly over the brayer because you are going to use it to put ink onto your leaf. It's like loading up a paint roller before you paint a wall. Just try to make a small square about the width of your brayer. Whenever you set your brayer down after inking, place it roller side up so that it won't roll away. Place a piece of scrap paper beside your inking surface and choose a leaf. Place the leaf underside up on the paper. We will roll the ink onto the veiny underside. You can see why we need the scrap paper. When you roll the main part of the leaf, roll away from you and lift up. Do not roll backwards. If you roll back towards you, the leaf will stick to the brayer and it might rip. Then, after you've put the ink onto the leaf, make one roll down the petiole, what we think of as the stem, to cover it as well. Make sure your hands are clean. Then, place your art paper on a clean area of your work surface. Lift the inked leaf up and turn it ink side down onto your paper. Cover the leaf with a piece of scrap paper. Hold it in place with one hand, and with the other, hold your wooden spoon or baron and rub it carefully over the entire area of the leaf. Don't forget the petiole. Lift the scrap paper and carefully raise an edge of the leaf to see if you made a print. If not, place that corner of a leaf back down and try again with your scrap paper and spoon. You can use the same leaf for several prints, but you will want to fold your scrap paper so that you don't transfer any ink to your art paper and to try to keep ink off your wooden spoon. You can also use paper towels for this part if you wish. You can re-ink your leaf between paintings, or you can make another print without adding more ink. This would be called a ghost print. I chose to use just one color for this work of art, but you could use different colors or different leaves depending on what you have available. Have fun making prints with leaves.